Hello, my name is Dr. Sanjay Murthy and I'm an assistant professor of medicine in the Division of Gastroenterology at the University of Ottawa and also an associate scientist at the Ottawa Hospital Research Institute. Today it gives me great pleasure to present our study titled Temporal Trends in Post-Colonoscopy Colorectal Cancer Rates in Screen-Eligible Persons, a population-based study in which we used Ontario population-level health administrative data to study more than 1 million persons between the ages of 50 to 74 without advanced risk factors for colorectal cancer, such as inflammatory bowel disease or personal history of colorectal cancer, who underwent colonoscopy in Ontario between the years of 1996 and 2010. Persons in our cohort could have undergone colonoscopy for symptomatic indications or for low-risk asymptomatic screening and surveillance indications, and importantly, only persons who underwent a complete colonoscopy to the cecum or terminal ileum were included. We undertook this study as we wished to assess whether important colonoscopy quality metrics that have been introduced over the past 10 to 15 years, such as minimum standards for bowel preparation, adenoma detection, and colonoscopy withdrawal time, have influenced post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer rates across Ontario. Historically, Canadian jurisdictions have reported among the highest rates of post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer in the world. In the UK, where the Joint Advisory Group on GI endoscopy has introduced widespread systemic quality improvement initiatives, they were able to show a steady decline in their rates of post-colonoscopy colorectal cancers over time, as evidenced in a study published in Gut by Eva Morris several years ago. We wish to compare and contrast our trends in Ontario, wherein during the study period, no such systematic quality improvement initiatives were introduced. In assessing the post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer rate, what we're really trying to estimate is the rate of cancers or near cancers that were either missed or inadequately treated during colonoscopy and were picked up within a short time thereafter. While we can never be 100% certain that some of these post-colonoscopy cancers were not new or de novo rapidly progressive cancers, we limit our time interval to 36 months after colonoscopy to limit this possibility. Furthermore, using administrative data to assess post-colonoscopy cancers, we used an established definition of cancers diagnosed within 6 to 36 months, or between 6 and 36 months following colonoscopy, to define post-colonoscopy colorectal cancers. While this is not a validated definition, it has been widely used in Canada and other jurisdictions. And we understand that there will be some limitations to this definition in that some missed cancers may arise beyond 36 months, whereas, as mentioned, some de novo cancers may arise within 36 months as well. The definition of post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer rate in our study was the proportion of all cancers that were diagnosed within 36 months of colonoscopy that were specifically post-colonoscopy cancers, i.e. those diagnosed with between 6 and 36 months. In simple terms, we're trying to assess the proportion of post-colonoscopy cancers, or the proportion of prevalent cancers during colonoscopy that were post-colonoscopy cancers. While this definition differs slightly from historical studies of post-colonoscopy cancers, it has the advantage that it takes the perspective of all individuals undergoing colonoscopy and also provides an internal control for fluctuating colorectal cancer prevalence when comparing across colonoscopy cohorts. For example, in our Ontario cohort, we observed that there was a substantial decline in the rates of cancer being detected during colonoscopy over time, which contrasts the observed rise in the prevalence of colorectal cancer across Canada. And the reasons for this discrepancy are probably that over time, indications for colonoscopy have changed such that individuals are undergoing colonoscopy for lower risk indications such as screening and minor symptoms, such that the actual prevalence of colorectal cancer in colonoscopy cohorts is decreasing over time. Therefore, by controlling for cancer prevalence within each colonoscopy cohort, we were able to limit this confounding influence. Ultimately, what we found was that over the 15-year study period in Ontario, the post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer rate was fairly stable at about 8% across Ontario, which is in line with historical reports from Canada of the post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer rate. Even after adjusting for multiple sociodemographic, clinical, and health services variables, we did not observe any change, any statistically significant change, that is, in the post-colonoscopy colorectal cancer rate over time. We further did not observe any differences in temporal trends of post-colonoscopy cancers across different providers, such as gastroenterologists or general surgeons, as well as across different colonoscopy settings, such as academic hospitals, non-academic hospitals, and community clinics. While there are some limitations to our study, ultimately the findings are concerning for colonoscopy practice quality in Ontario and suggest that quality metrics that have been reported in the literature may not have been consistently adopted across practitioners and institutions. Contrasting our findings with those reported in the UK, it also suggests that perhaps widespread quality improvement initiatives in Ontario would help to improve colonoscopy practice quality. Our findings should be confirmed across other Canadian jurisdictions and should also be evaluated in non-Canadian jurisdictions. We thank you for your time. We hope you find our study informative, and we look forward to any feedback that you may have to offer. Thank you.